Yeah, this is where it gets tough, and obviously we already know the matchups that will be coming in tomorrow. So maybe you're here because you're like, I really love FNATIC, or I really love G2, or whatever it may be. Well, one of these teams is going to go on to face FNATIC. That is how this bracket is going to work by the looks of things. So this is almost for both of them maybe a bit of a warm-up game, but also a survival match. And then they have an absolute mountain to climb coming into tomorrow. Now, Wave, a team I think we're both fairly familiar with, but BKROG have almost like burst onto our radar over the last few days, eliminating Heretics. And while it's not the greatest start, Seekers, okay, he gets one with a pistol, one with the turret, one with the nano swarm, and now Nico's left just to try and finish off the last man. It's only the Thorn left, and he's not going to be the Thorn in their side. Aha! Let's get that out of the way nice and quick.
And already I'm regretting waking up this morning, Tom. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Well, I hope my net does crash so I don't have to listen to any more of those jokes. Pretty interesting pistol. Dying to, you know, nano swarms, turrets, not normal. This is not normally.
No.
But 1-0 we go nonetheless. Wave take the pistol. Now they should be facing into a pretty easy one. BKRG taking a light by, and really it's the foundation setter. For Wave, they go with a couple of pistols, so you have that little bit of leeway if you do end up losing a player or two to these, well, pistols on the other side. But that one gets away with an orb, and I think altogether, you know, you're trading ult orbs in this round, as we saw one be picked up earlier on the A side. It's pretty decent to have one on your Killjoy. For an eco, it's already off to a good start.
Yeah, looking to try and build up to get towards that lockdown. Definitely a powerful ultimate, especially when looking at the B site. You can basically cover the whole thing from, well, basically outside, other than maybe the back little corner that might cause you a few issues here and there. Side are going to be in a good position. Swings, but actually only gets one. Aegis is able to trade things back, and bear in mind that Carcass only has himself a pistol as well, so he might be in a little bit of trouble here. Then again, they haven't spotted him out, and it is clean clicks to the head of his opponents, at least managing to find a couple before he falls. And sure, 2 players go down, which when we talk about these eco rounds, not bad. It's not really going to be too much of a problem when it comes to Wave.
Tom,
Duh?
am I dumb, or did he just use a flash after the round for no reason and have to rebuy that?
I don't know, because I think the way it works is you don't get the second flash back anymore, right? You only get the first one. So he gets the first one back anyway.
Okay.
So he's just being a bit of a troll and just flashing himself.
That makes sense.
So it like in the last patch, you were bang on. That would have cost him money.
Yeah,
that
that's why
a silly thing to do.
I don't play Sky, and that was a big bunch of patch notes, so I missed that change. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get a second one back. That's a very minor change, but let's see the impact. I was so confused. It's like, what? Why would he do that? But okay, you know, there must be a logical explanation. A weak buy here for Wave. They're keeping over the weaker weapons, knowing that this is a bonus. We don't expect them to win. BKROG will be looking to survive with as many players as they can, because next up, Wave will be buying the real weapons, the Phantoms, the Vandals that we currently see in the hands of the attacking side. And whilst that is a slow start, they're just clearing out utility up here in Heaven and intending to push into that A side. As you can see, 2 players sat outside. A great flash up, though. Ends up taking the Rays down right off the bat.
Yeah, solid start. And considering this is the bonus round for Wave, still some pistols in play, and not even having the multitude of utility in these circumstances, you expect this one to go to BKROG. Already managed to pick off one. Cider, though, gets another, and actually it's all falling apart. The SMG's doing the work this time for Wave. They only lose 1 man, and they get to upgrade to all the weapons. That is a very scary start for BK.
I completely forgot to do our predictions over on Twitch, so I'm going to actually run them now. We're going to go with who's going to win map 1. Actually, do you know what? Who will win the series? We're already a few rounds in. We don't want to be given free insight. I'm interested to see what people think, actually, the people at home. Because BKROG...
I'll be honest.
Yeah?
I've lost all my Mitchies over the last couple of days, so I don't have anything left to gamble.
I was a few seconds away from making a joke about your predictions being poor, and then I realized that probably wouldn't be
0 and 4.
Yeah, that might be a bad idea right now.
I am interested by the fact that we have both a breach and a sky. Like, that just seems like a disgusting amount of flashes that are currently being brought through from Wave. Of course, different in okay, in terms of the information you get off Sky as well, which might be the reason they've gone for both, but it's not something you commonly see. Outsider, he's going to try and get back up through mid. Look to lurk him from behind, but B2K has already managed to find himself an extra one, and the swing through looked like a free kill, but somehow Nico still gets one. Left onto the Lone Omen to try and bring things back, and he will not. What was a bonus round victory in the last turns into a thrifty force buy for BK to come back with their first round on the board.
That's a good little turnaround. BK ending up now with one round on the board, but the ability to step right back into this series. Wave will get their full buy up, but look at how much it cost them. Their credits are going to be hurting after this one. So a huge round over there in the previous. Now way back in. The door opened. Interested to see this on the attacking side now. A lot of Phantoms being bought up on BKROG. 3 out of 5 of their weapons are the Phantom. Oh, that was a nice little shot by King Yu. Pronounce that for me. King Yin? King Nguyen. King Nguyen.
I was thinking it might be King Win, but I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat will be able to give us the perfect way to say it, but who knows? We can just maybe
it's
King Win is good. That's what Van Silly. See, that's what I was going off. I was going off the way there's the surname. It's like Nguyen. Yes. It's your surname. Okay, there you go. Well, that's what I was going off, Van Silly.
Well, that works. That works. I'm gonna quickly show it's like B2K, Nescus, Aegis, Dahuan, and King Yin. Okay, sweet. We're good to go. I've never cast BKRG, but I've watched them. A nice team. And right here, they got a nice result on the board. Carcass is going to try to make a massive play. Oh, they're even conscious of it. The flash going out for Heaven. They weren't clearing up close. Even still, they'll get away with the round and put 3-2 on the board. BKROG right back into the series after a disappointing start.
Yeah, no, this was looking like it would kick itself off as like almost a dominant beginning to this map, especially when you look at the fact that they started out on the defender's side. You get those first 3 rounds. That's where I expect to be seeing 6, 7, 8, maybe even rounds on the board, just because of how strong you've actually managed to kick it off. It should have probably been a 4-0 win, but forced by BKROG. And yeah, as said, you have to bear in mind this is the team that was able to beat Heretics. Now, sure, they played against Guild yesterday, who have come in solid form, already made it through to the main event coming up next week, beating the likes of FPX, which I was saying itself is a huge victory for them. Aegis is going to go pushing very quickly into the site. Take that back control, make things that little bit more difficult, but Muri's already found one. I don't think he's going to expect that lurking from behind, however, and that will allow a 4v4 after plant.
The flash out in upper, the res as well. They're making a lot of presence here, but all the while, they might be oh no, they're not unaware of this at all. They know there could be a player down in middle ready to pop that flank, and the Seeker gives it away entirely. There's 2 guys here, in fact, and the shots ringing out from Aegis give that away. Now they know the site is a little bit lighter, so they're rushing down. Neska's completely isolated, is good for the first, but the defuse is already underway, or at least it was, detaining up 1. They've got control of main and heaven, and so they can just defuse inside that smoke. There's practically nothing that can be done about this, and especially with Murray popping those heads, it is going to be around going to the defending side. That is a disappointing one for BKROG. They tried to get their flanks on, they were spotted, and then on the site, well, things didn't exactly go according to plan, did they, Tom?
That's for sure. Now, I will say going into this that Muri is always going to be one of the players I think we have to keep an eye on. Like, I remember the first time we saw Wave make this same run through, he was just phenomenal. I think it was mostly on the Rays, and it does seem like they've had some major adaptations. The second run was where they brought Cedar Cider into the mix. And he was basically their best player. Like, he just had incredible mechanics, sticking on the controller for the majority of the time. But as said, it looks like they've adapted a fair few things with this roster. Firstly, because if I'm not mistaken, pretty much only played Jet when they made the previous run. That's a definite change for him.
2 players on the side here caught by that rolling thunder. Nico trying to answer back, keep them off the side for just a second with that aftershock, but Fury comes in to save the day. Dropping down, he will be caught, but there's so much work left to be done and only 1 player to do it. B2K. And he's spotted out and dead. Oh, he's still alive with 11 HP. He has somehow managed to evade Death's clutches. I think there will even be a turret up soon that will probably kill him. Like, he can't get that spike. It's not physically possible. Has no stars to play with as well. And all 3 players are there ready to swing.
I can hear the doubt in your voice. You already expected him to be dead, Mitch. You know, he's pulled off more than you ever believed in.
30 seconds
Would
left.
be one hell of an incredible clutch. 25 seconds left to do it, and it seems like Wave are just not going to give him anything. Just sit back, calm, and, well, eventually the turret is the one to actually kill him off.
I told you.
5-2, Wave stabilized. Oh, at least you predicted something correct today.
Yeah. If you want to know what team's going to win, listen to my prediction and then go the other way. But chat's prediction has been convincingly in favor of Wave. In fact, let me pull up the numbers here. Let me grind the figures. 78% of the Mitchies were bet on Wave. So, pretty heavy wagering on that side. The BK ROG fans not coming out in the same force. We'll see if they're right.
Get out of my way.
Oh, also one thing I don't think we said yet was the split is ROG's map pick. Next up is Haven, which is Waves, and we finish off on Bind. So I think all in all, for this early of a start for Wave on their opponent's map pick, they're feeling pretty damn comfortable.
I will say we've already seen it quite often, at least in recent times, that we can see some pretty massive defense halves. Like, it's been like that since the beginning, but I feel like a lot of teams, at least towards the top, started to show some real promise on the attack. And then over the last couple of days, maybe just a bit of rust, but not quite look the same. That is an aggressive push forward from Muri, and he's gonna get away with it. He's taken down the lockdown and popped 2 players' heads while they're watching him. What?
Absolutely ridiculous. With Cider going down, though, this is winnable for BK. They're on their way, presumably, towards the B site based on those positions. Although I noticed that Astra's pulling back. Going for a mid. Here's the showstopper. Looking for a player on site. Can't quite find him, but a good prediction coming out from... I can't remember. King Win.
Just say King Win.
There we
Just
go.
say King Win.
Oh, okay.
It's wrong.
Nico.
Who cares?
It's something. It's something. Fault line goes in. I don't think it's actually stunned. Oh, it has stunned him up. And so Kingwin goes down. Nico swinging with more, but even blind. I think he turned from it because he wasn't blind when we switched to him. It's going to put a round on the board for BK. And I've heard it's BK Rogue, not ROG. Fair enough. Thank you. BK Rogue.
Is it? Oh, I thought they were sponsored by, like, well, that was my assumption at least.
Yeah,
or am I just, have I been saying that wrong as well? If that's the case, then that's mind-blowing.
Yeah,
because it stands for Republic of Gamers. It's an acronym. Okay.
BK ROG was what I always thought it was Asus ROG, but I mean maybe. I don't know.
I'm just gonna say either the only thing is BK does, it makes me think of a certain company which do nice burgers.
Of course they make you think of that, Tom. Of course, it's the first place your mind goes. Oh, that nade, it's pushing Zeke back. They've got Heaven control, but the Nano Swarm's there to delay them. The flash comes over as well, and Kingwin Well, he's sat here, but he's not sure. You know, you don't have that nade anymore to push forward. You need something instead of it.
It's Bunker Esports. Okay. Sorry.
All right. BK ROG give out free whoppers at lunch. In French, you say rogue. Rogue. I suppose, like,
Okay.
you technically say rogue, but do you mean to? Is the question. Because in French, comment tu dis rogue? Yeah, you would say, like, that's just how it sounds, right? Right? I don't know.
Bomb grenade out.
Oh, we're gonna get the gravity well, also known as the suck, pulling in Zeke, but he will be able to hold on to it. Now the time is ticking away. They have 25 seconds and the spike is still in mid. They have got to make a move. This wall is also just incredibly annoying. Aren't you going to go pushing in? Now B2 has already been able to pick off one, but there's still a man at the back of the site. Cedar could just destroy this round on his own. Never mind! It's going to be Zeke! And they have to go for the spike plant. There's just no time. Even if he gets this down, which he won't, the last player just has to survive, and he does! Within a second! They actually kill the last player, but it is too late.
That one is going to hurt. It's going to haunt their dreams, Tom. And you know what? Frankly, I'm pissed. Do you know why, Tom?
1 second, peeps.
I'm sat here in the middle of that, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a little bit hungry, you know? Night's running late. Only had a breakfast today. I was like, wonder what I'll have. And what do I smell, Tom? I smell a Chinese. My girlfriend has ordered a Chinese takeout and not included me. What the hell? What is this?
Honestly, you deserve it.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom. Always got my back, you know.
She is a saint for putting up with you for as many years as she has. She deserves a Chinese.
I mean, in all fairness, I did tell her to sort herself out for dinner, but I presumed if we're ordering something nice, you know, I maybe get a text. Hey, you maybe want chicken and satay, but no. Oh, the boom bot!
Not the boom bot. What? How's he still getting that one? Okay, I'm impressed. Now, can Nico convert this further? They're going to go pushing through. And, well, it's a 1-for-1 trade. It's not awful. Both teams on a bit of a weaker buy. Carcass, he's got himself the trusty judge. And I'm just looking at the positioning of Killjoy. All these footsteps actually be heard. Zeke using this as a bait and switch, but actually the turret gives away that he has to be in close proximity. So they're going to be checking all of these angles. B2K again is going to be working as the opener. He was the top fragger in the game versus Heretics. He looks to continue that trend. They are going to deny the spike once more, but it comes down to the 1 versus 1. Carcass looking to try and take this home for Wade.
Oh, the timing was so good for B2K, but Carcass is too clean. A quick snap to the head, but 7 on the board. And allez-y is what we will say to Wave, because they are flying ahead. I feel like BK are going to get start to feel that little bit of pressure. You know, it's really starting to mount now. This is their map pick. This is their chance to get it done. And their attack side so far, it's salvageable, but it isn't great right now. They've got to push up and make it a little bit further. And I would say push up to 5, but when I look at that economy, Tom, I don't know that that's really possible.
Yeah, what I will say is they did manage to win their first round at least with just pure pistol headshots. That meant to be a fake smoke. Because I felt like it wasn't. Like, just by the way that seemed like a massive surprise for Dethorn to try and almost get that orb. But either way, we are going to see this push through. It seems more than aware. Scared for a second that Aegis might be able to get a cheeky heady and maybe open up this round a little bit. Zeke, I feel like he just loves having these little bait and switch angles, which are just so frustrating. The pop flash actually avoided, but it doesn't matter. Zeke will get away with it, and Cedar is there to back up his teammate. It's left on to 1 man standing. The lone rifle. Not sure how much he can really do with this.
Another round, another clutch. But yeah, his chances are reasonably low. Oh, they were ready for the trade there, but didn't get it. Luckily, Nico had the fault line ready to roll. Take it 8-3. Here's the full buy for BK, but they don't win this. I think we're starting to fast forward this map. It's It's looking pretty shaky.
I'm reading Vansili saying that a lot of these names sound Vietnamese, and that makes me think that we've probably butchered every single one of them.
Almost
So,
definitely.
I'm not confident. Also, just for the record, the winner of this plays FNATIC, and the winner of that goes to the event. The loser out and has to go back through the second open qualifier, which will be coming up in a few weeks.
There.
Les sont très frères. I don't think they're brother. Are you saying they're brothers? That would be quite a coincidence, shall we say? The Rolling Thunder catching a couple. Oh, but B2K's been last alive last 2 rounds, but not getting it done here. Now we come into a 5 versus 4 BK on the back foot. Flash coming around from Muri. It's going to blind him, though. He's going for another still, and there's lots of players here to be farmed up. Muri is just on fire right now. As coming out with the knife. Cider doesn't die. Barely takes a lick of damage, and he's ready now, posted up for this fight, beckoning them in. It's like he's showing a bit of ankle around the corner. Hello, I'm in heaven. Come and get me. And then he just wrecks them.
Switching sides.
Absolutely tears them apart.
This has been an impressive half. I have to say, Muri playing on that Sky has been something very exciting. Like, he is using it as the duelist, which we've seen a few other people do, like, more aggressively. I think Vac is one that springs to mind when he was playing, well, I guess he still is playing on Vitality, but what we saw previously from him, and just the way he's pop flashing himself into those angles, just must be so infuriating to play against. Now, as said, we've seen some pretty big defensive halves so far in this qualifier, but I'm not sure I believe necessarily in this one.
Oh, does VLR list the names backwards? Hold on, let me just go have a look. Dylan, Logan. Oh, it doesn't. But anyways, yeah, because the 3 of them are Nguyen. So yeah, I guess maybe they are brothers. And also Tak, Tien, Tuan. Very close to each other's names as well. Seems like something you do in naming your brothers. That's quite cool. There's no way, dude. There's no way 3 brothers are on an esports team that's actually quite good. That's sick if that's true. Well, let's go.
Well,
9 to 3.
Far away from qualification, in honesty. That would be one hell of a family party. Not many people can have parties at the moment, and you know what? They're doing quite well at this pistol round. Already looking to make this retake strong, and okay, in a matter of seconds, is going to be the win as well coming through. They get their 4th round on the board, an important one for that.
Van said that in Vietnamese, you would typically have your name, last name listed first, which makes more sense. I was wondering because I went and checked BDS and was like, okay, pretty sure the names are forwards. Okay, that's really sick, man. Like, how much talent is in their genes? What the hell? Been grinding because I was thinking
maybe their parents are just like hardcore gamers. Because you have to think, we're gonna get to the point where people are young enough that you'll start getting parents so they're going to be like, oh no, you ain't being a footballer, you're being a gamer.
Well, I mean, look at America.
Like, imagine Sean Gare's kid. Like, imagine how good that kid is going to be at video games.
Bro, they should really rename to Nguyen Gaming and use my slogan. Even if we lose, we always win.
Oh my god.
I'd buy, dude. If they were a team called Nguyen Gaming, I would chuck that. I would buy their jersey if they had that motto on it.
Please tell me you sell that merch.
Yeah, you better, dude.
Please tell me you sell that, because I will buy it.
I mean, it would make absolutely no sense if it was one of us wearing it. People would be like, well, what does that mean?
His face on it.
Have you got some like? It just has just walking around with Van Silly's face. So at an esports event, fair enough.
Wear a shirt. I'd wear that out and about. Go to a restaurant, they're like, is that Van Silly? Free dishes at the meal, you know. This man's going places. I believe in Van Silly. He's already gone places, to be honest, on the Masters streams.
Well, Tom, if you want to walk around with Van Silly's face and a motto that is very bizarre for someone that doesn't have the context, feel free. I look forward to just seeing a lot of people stopping on who's that man on your shirt? What is this? What's
You're
going
just
on?
jealous because I wouldn't wear your merch. That's all it is.
That's true, Tom.
Again,
That's true.
I assume they'd only sell it in a small size.
I wanted to see you in the Mitch Man Mankini, but we didn't get
Wouldn't
that
fit
arranged.
in it.
It's alright, you can be spilling out the edge. It's the whole point. But anyways.
Dear Lord.
That's the whole point. 9-5. Yeah, BK are actually making a bit of a comeback. Let's pay attention to this one. On the attack side, they've got the rifles out. It's the buy round, and it's time to get interested. Time to get locked in. And BK, actually playing a very interesting setup. If you look at their turret on A, they've got a bit of control with that. They're also holding mid with an alarm bot. This is really, really spread out utility, but it's given them so much control so they can stack up heavily on B, which is where Wave want to go.
Oh, we're going to hear that showstopper pop. Actually expended quite early, and you know what? It's Nico to already open things up in this round. Of course, we know this is somewhat of a bonus being played by BK, so chances of them winning it slim. How much damage they can do is something completely different. Now, B2K, I think he's put that star down almost just to fake them in. Like, if there's a star here, they're probably not going to be checking it, but a good clear from Zeke at least keeps the majority of them alive and garners them B-site control.
Spike planted.
Getting back in here is going to be pretty difficult. Still flashes online, I think, for the breach. And those steps are being heard. Here we go. The flash prime. Oh, it's actually the aftershock primed and ready. And here's Zik. Easy on one. The second stun, but there's the peak right out. Trading it back. Keeping it doable. Aftershock not going to quite catch the corner. Still safe on that crossfire. And this now becomes next to impossible. The first, not even going to go their way. And eventually the trade's in on the second. Very nicely handled by Wave. Seemed like they had control of pretty much this from the second that they stepped onto that site. And now we end up 10-5 with a lot of work to be done for BK to get back in here.
Yeah, this is where things definitely get a little bit more rough for the side of BK, but they are going to be investing into this round at least. The Phantom Gang, every single player. And realistically, as I said, like, I expect their defensive side to be stronger. I don't think you pick into this map if you're not feeling confident on that side. So I'm more looking through what Wave are going to be able to do here, how they're going to look to break this one open. Now, with both Sky and Breach, there is so much utility available to them to clear things out. Even an extra flash in the form of the Paranoia. They should be leaving players blind and making sure there's no angle left unturned. And actually, they are waiting for this push to come in, but somehow B2K still gets the opener.
The duel going their way. But, oh, it keeps on coming. B2K managed to get one before going down, and now they're out of there with a man advantage, and the B site stacked up heavily. The lockdown. Oh, the player on the left here is in a little bit of trouble. But could be good. They're going to go early. Aegis is just probably going to hold this position then. Oh, going out wide. Gets one. And I felt like the second was assured. But Kingwin gets it anyways. Zik, there's a player detained right next to you, bro. He's just staring at him, rubbing shoulders. Zik's going to need a little bit more from here, though. And, oh, the shots are missing. Well, they eventually land. 10-6, excuse me. BK. Could be the start of the comeback. Could be a way back in. Door open for them. We'll see.
Especially with the purchase that's currently coming in as well. Like, I think that realistically we can't expect a massive amount from Wave going into this round. At the same time, they do have some pretty strong ultimates online. The Seeker's always good for finding out that extra information. Carcass one away from getting the res. And also the Rolling Thunder, which, especially on a map with the sites being so tight, you can normally get yourself at least a couple of players stunned pushing into this one.
Here.
Aegis on a judge. Disgusting gameplay. But he's not going to get the opportunity, at least not in his current position, to use that, because Wave seem to be moving into this A site pretty quickly. They get slowed down a bit by Dahuan, though. The flash ready. Oh, here he comes down below with the judge, completely tearing their chances down. And even though Carcass has made it down below, he's not going to get anywhere with it.
Down A.
Okay.
Dash up, draft, judge, kill. You hate to see it.
Oh, not a bad round for them at all. 10-7. And we're actually going to see now, this is what, again, I spoke about in the last series. This is a very early pause, but I love it. Like, take the time to make sure you're not going to let these rounds slip away. I feel like Wave have definitely got the right setup, or at least the right backing behind them. That they seem to have the right ideology that's being brought through. So, gonna have a moment. Of course, being on the attack side of this map can be relatively difficult, but they've got a few ultimates to spare in this round. Position with the Blade Storm being the only one currently online. Also, I think it's even more important because this is their opponent's map choice. So if they can win this one through, I'm gonna go and look what the second map was, because I have completely blanked on what it was. It was Haven, which that makes a lot of sense, because I'm pretty sure where Wave got a lot of their upset wins and a lot of their almost statement matches was on Haven. That's always been a really strong map for them. So going into the next one, that's where I'd expect them to be even stronger. So if they could take this one home, I think they're almost set to take the series.
And one of the things to look at is BK recently played up against Guild on Haven. And whoops. Create storage space. No, thank you, Windows. You're all good. Thanks for that, though. By the way, I used to do that. I used to, like, in Tier 3 Counter-Strike, I used to have fun trolling the chat a little bit. I'd, like, download the Facebook Messenger sound and the WhatsApp sound, and I'd randomly just click it, and everyone would just be like, Bro, was that my phone? Anyone else hear that? Bro, what? It was great. But, yeah, they didn't do too well versus Guild on that map. But then you have to take a look, and Guild just beat FPX. They're in a very good spot right now. That team is looking stacked. Yeah. So you have to give them a little bit of credit on that one. 5 rounds versus Guild. We can't really read into it, not knowing the current state of EU Valorant, let's say.
But the crazy thing as well for Guild is they've qualified and made it look fairly easy, and they were genuinely, like, they got rid of one of their players and brought it back. Like, that blows my mind. Is like that they basically had this rift, whatever it was, and then they've just gone, oh, I'll bring it back. Oh, everything's looking good. Maybe they'll just keep doing that. Just remove a player just before the event, bring them back in a few days before, get another honeymoon period. Big brain.
Every time. Sorry, mate, you're kicked for the next week. We have to.
30 seconds left.
I'm just looking at what Wave have to work with here. They have a lot of ultimates, and there we go. The Rolling Thunder is going to be committed to this one as they push on the site, but there's 2 players. Oh, that blind was so perfect. Aegis ends up wasting all of his knives and taken down by Zeke right after. Clean execute by Wave. Kingwin at least able to slow them for a moment, and Nico, he can't actually plant. They can rush. If they can manage to kill him now, it's all over. They're going in with the blast packs, and they've got him. The round is theirs. BK with an absolutely huge denial of the plant. They get around on the board. Fantastic stuff.
I feel like in that round especially, Wave, they almost looked like they were waiting for something to happen, waiting for someone to get aggressive, to make a play. Like you saw Cedar, like, in mid for the majority of it, just patiently waiting for somebody to push, like, took deep control, had a look around the ropes. Just nothing happened. And then they get down to the last, like, 25 seconds, and they're having to push through all of that Astra utility right at the last moment, and all it took, as we sort of saw, was one player to be able to drop that spike, and it's over. And there's nothing they can do from that point. So definite slip up, but I think they also need to almost take the initiative a little bit more in some of these rounds, because BK are more than happy to just sit tight and wait for someone to come to them.
This time someone did come to them, as Angus falls right away. Wave will be able to slow the play, but you might almost be a bit paranoid about doing that after the previous round's events. One of the big problems, it was always a big problem in Counter-Strike as well, if you play those rounds so slow but you don't bait out the map controller or really poke your opponents, is that they just have so much utility. And in a game like this, it can be better and worse. It depends, right? If you're running into a site that has someone like a Breach or like a Raze, and they have their nade, their flashes, their fault line still enabled, it can be pretty tough to deal with. And again, it seems like Wave are going to run down this clock 30 seconds or less by the time they walk out on B. And there's 3 players here and a lot of utility with Raze and Breach in position, and still stars down on the site. This is going to be a really tough push for them. Oh, they're committing the lockdown.
He can just sit at the back, but I like that. They've actually put in a nano swarm, so sitting here is going to be very awkward. I think this might be a little bit rough. And actually, Zeke is eventually going to trade out B2K, but he might have done enough here. Now, obviously, the one player to tame, but I believe that was, of course, the Astra himself. Kinguin looking to try and get back into the corner, already using the blast pack to try and displace some of these players, but never mind. Cedar and Muri will close things out. And I feel like, again, a lot of that just stems from these early plays coming out from Muri. I think he's so important to this roster with how he's able to find those openers, how he is almost that proactive player I was looking for to make space. Because once Zeke, Nico, you name it, get into the afterplants, that's where I feel really confident for Wave. It's just getting there in the first place, especially on a map like Split that can be really tough to do.
But at this point for Wave, you know, they didn't even commit that much to the previous round. The lockdown, sure, but you'll take that for the kind of trade that they got. And BKROG don't have the same sort of power coming into this stage of the game. Like, right now, the only ultimate that they have is on a dead player. And it's Cosmic Divide anyways. And on the defense, it's not really great. Maybe help you on a retake every so often, but the vast majority are going to be useless. Carcass taken down. That's a very, very valuable pick at this stage of the game. But Cider up on the rope takes him down.
Stupid.
Trades it back into a winnable position. That's quite heartbreaking because now look at the B site, or A site. You've got a player completely isolated. Everyone's isolated now.
For the record, he's not stupid. Ropes are stupid. Just wanted to clarify that. Like, if you can get away with that sort of stuff, brilliant. But you shouldn't be able to do that on a rope. Like, what's he holding the rope with? That's the question, because he's got his hands on the gun.
Oh,
either way, we're going to see the TP to the back of sight, but actually, Kinguin just waits. He finds himself the kill for free, already spots the second and tags him incredibly low. Again, the clock is ticking, and it looks like they're going to try and make a late change. You can see the spike running back with only 20 seconds to spare. Zeke going to make the same move. Seems like there's some awareness, and BK might be able to deny this push, just all of the utility being expended, but he has been spotted. The barrel of the gun seen. 10 seconds to try and get that plant down. They need to run. Nico can't hesitate any longer, and the aftershock, well, it's surely going to kill him, but he just about gets it down.
I've got your
That's the man advantage, and here's the Seeker just to lock it in with how low Killjoy is. You've got to make sure that info's there to play with. A heal being popped, but Kingwin thinks he's on the site now. Oh no, he's even going to check up on top, but the fight doesn't go his way. And now we end up 12-8.
match point.
1 round left for Wave to close this out. It has been a hard-fought battle, but BK might just be falling short at the last hour. And considering it was such a tough start for them to get in here, they've done a damn good job. Again, the timeline is flipped. If you look at that, they got 3 rounds in the first half. They're just 4 away from OT.
Yeah, I'm not entirely surprised by that. Obviously, it definitely did help getting themselves the pistol win. It is also interesting that does make it seem like when you look at the aftershock, it feels much more like a nerf. Okay, this is a very big change. I was saying that BK ROG love to just sit back, play a little bit more passive. They're now just battling for all manner of control. Now, the res has been invested, but it doesn't save them here. They're still in a 5 versus 4 scenario.
I like the paranoia popped just as the res comes in, making sure no one can make a Muri play. And for BK, try to hold on to this man advantage. If they can manage to just get the information on where Wave are, Rolling Thunder can be absolutely massive, and it's already come in. Dahuan able to take down Cider. Whoop. Arm's a little bit too short to reach it the first time round, but a Vandal in hand, 30 HP, it's basically still a Sheriff. You gotta be hitting that first bullet or you are dead, and well, Carcass shoots him right in the head. Man advantage only ×1, but it is still in favor of BK.
35 seconds again. The clock getting relatively low. A few rope attempts this time themselves, and Carcass, he's going to give them access to the site. Nothing they can really do to deny it. The wall will be broken by Akers, but other than that, not much he can do. Muri taking a risk, and he'll be caught for it. Kingwing cutting off one, but the trade's there from Zeke. The plant will happen, and actually, Zeke's just found another. Now things get a little bit more interesting. Age is already trying to break back into the site. The Nano Swarm will kill him off. Zeke just on fire in this round, but there's a trade quickly back. It won't matter. Zeke is there to close out this map, and it will be Wave taking their opponent's choice.
Pretty damn nice stuff from Wave. They win one pistol round, they lose one, they end up quite a decent bit ahead. But the comeback was there from BK. It looked decent in that second half. Just a shame they couldn't get that turned on a little bit earlier, because now they move on to Haven, the map pick of their opponents. Things probably won't look quite as good there, because as you were saying, Tom, Wave got a pretty decent track record when it comes to Haven.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed watching their Haven, especially the old school sort of Carcass Muri aggressive duo. I've also just noticed that Avova is commenting in the chat, the man who like dominated the last series, now comes back because, as said, this guy doesn't sleep. He's now watching the next games to see what he can get from Wave. So just the busiest man in existence. I'll look forward to seeing the stream layer, which I'm sure is coming too.
You know what, Avova? You owe me, bro. You owe me at least one tube of Strepsils, because my throat is so sore from screaming about you.
That is true.
I'm gonna have to take the week off after that. Hell of a game earlier, though, for all you guys. And for now, we're gonna go to a break. When we come back, it's gonna be Haven, the map pick of Wave, up against BK, ROG, ROG, Republic of Gamers, whatever you want to call them. But BK, they're down a map, and now they need a reverse sweep to make it work. We'll see you real soon to find out how that's gonna go.
Team, are you ready?
Ready. Ready.
Trading's tough. It's not for everyone. Get ahead of the curve with Pepperstone's market analysis and access to a choice of platforms.
No matter how hard or how far we push ourselves, we can never go further than when we push each other. Alone, we are small. But together, we become giants.
everybody, and welcome back. We're ready to jump on into Haven, the next map, and possibly the final map of the series, because, of course, Wave just took their opponent's map pick over on Split, and now BK ROG have got a pretty tough road back in. They've got to win both here and on map number 3, which is fine. I wasn't delaying so I could look on my other screen and read what it was. That's not what I was doing. I was just emphasizing it differently, Tom. How are you feeling about Haven? You've already said that Wave look very good here, but after what you saw on map 1, you thinking maybe BK have got something up their sleeve? Some Odins?
It's definitely possible. Like, I don't think the map was like dominant enough where I'm just like, oh yeah, Wave have got this easy. I think this has always been one of their strong suit maps, and I think they're always going to be confident going into it, but from the last time I saw them play it, at least, this is a completely different comp once again. Like, this is not the same raised jet aggressive Haven where they're looking to just push for map control and battle versus everybody. In fact, they don't have either of those agents currently in play. So if it was going to be that, it would be a little bit weird. And then also just the fact that I think even just the roles within this team seem to have swapped a little bit, moving to, again, what looks like over both maps a zero duelist comp, which I'm not going to say I dislike. I think it's quite good, but this was not what I was expecting from Wave when I came into today.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's jump on in and have a look for the people at home so they can see what's going down. In fact, the pistol's jumping live on our very screens. And yeah, no duelist from Wave, a team that's very dominant individually, is always a little bit of a surprise. Zeke here, though, he's one you got to keep an eye on regardless of what agent he's playing, but only good for the one here in the pistol, giving BK a potential way back in. Now just with a one-man disadvantage, that one has to go big, and that he does. Just the one kill. It might be enough. It won't be enough.
Well, Cedar already managing to put this into a 1 versus 3 now. I guess it did some damage on the previous map, but this would have to be almost a revolutionary change for him to be able to get something done in this sort of scenario. He's already going to get the decay, which of course does come back eventually, just trying to clear that closer angle, but he's going to be so low by the time he actually peeks any of these players, and he's already stuck in a crossfire. It will be the pistol round going the way of Wave, a solid one at that. And you know what, Mitch? They've even pulled in the Viper for this one, so I'm sure you're very happy indeed.
Oh, I'm very happy. Yeah, on Haven, it's very difficult to play Viper compared to some of the other maps. I'm excited to see what they've got planned. Be taking some notes as we go. You know what, Tom? Valorant is asking in chat, what happened to Mitch's face? So I'm just gonna. There we go. That's perfect. We're fixed. We're back. So we're gonna commentate the game like this, Tom. And I think this is it's just better, isn't it? This is what people want to see. People aren't here to see the rest of the map. They just want to see a window into our rooms.
I don't even want to see this. Can we
Okay,
can we go back,
we'll go
please?
back.
I like gameplay.
Oh, they're gonna be shooting people or whatever.
Because I'm not watching it on your thing anymore, so like I get to watch the game no matter what. But I feel like it might be a bit weird me just commentating a radio cast.
Oh, look at this. I mean, it is only versus a very light buy, but they are shredding them. One player died over on the Wave side. Now, if anyone else calls, that's a big win for BKROG, but they didn't. And so Wave get away with a pretty comfortable round here. Able to play a bonus coming into this one. While their opponents have got those Phantoms. And it is Phantoms, Tom. Oh, it is a lot of Phantoms. Only the one Vandal coming out. What did the Vandal ever do to these guys?
I guess part of it's like the fact that a lot of the angles on this map, especially if you're setting up the way that they are going to give you that close range opportunity anyway, or like mid range, I guess you could say. But there's also the fact that a lot of teams, I think going forward, are going to have to drop to light shields on a lot of occasions. So you're probably just going to want to be, I guess, practicing that Phantom anyway, because it's not going to be that much of a detriment anymore.
I love the drone or the Tiger to clear out these angles. Do you know how hard it is for me to say Tiger? Do you understand that? Everyone called it a dog, and I called it a wolf. Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. It's a tiger. Tasmanian tiger. Okay. But I love the combination, or either one of those, to clear out short, get you that information, especially because so many teams will play retake on the A side. But if you do go, or at least one player on side or long, but if you do go in there blind, you can run into some close-range duels that you're almost guaranteed to lose. So using that utility, they've got themselves control, and now it's all down to BK to make that retake happen. Again, they have got the stronger weapons. They're technically in a better spot. Oh, that molly.
Oh dear lord, somehow they've managed to make this one very costly indeed. Nico bringing it back to a 1 versus 1 scenario, expects where the final man will be, but Nescas is able to get it over the line. It definitely isn't as clean as you'd like, and I think Wave are going to be pretty happy with that round all in all. Do so much damage going forward. Now they get to come in with the buy.
People asking, wait, it's a tiger. Yes, indeed. I've just
Tasmanian tiger.
Googled it. The Trailblazer. Q. Equip a Tasmanian tiger trinket. Fire!
Yeah, I bet Van Silly is the guy who says like Flashpoint. I bet he says a bit. I bet he's the sweat who says all of the full names.
Vans has got a spreadsheet in his head of every single ability name. I'm pretty sure I've heard him say Flashpoint before on a desk.
He's got them tattooed on his arm, so he doesn't forget.
I'm not sure if he'll do them live, but on a desk, definitely he's like, oh, Breach used his Flashpoint right here. God damn it, man, stop showing off. You're making me look like an idiot. I'm just like, oh, KO's got his flashes and his knife. He's coming in with all the technical names.
Oh, once again, we're going to see Muri clearing things out with that tiger. And you know what? He hasn't really found much for it. They're clearing out some of the utility at least, but not going to be anything to really write home about. Now, this is a crucial round for BK. If they can take this one back, then what happened in the last round doesn't really matter too much. But if Wave break through, then it's probably going to be pistols for the next round. Now, Aegis has popped his Blade Storm. This will give him a little bit extra in terms of what would have been there after the amount of losses they had in the previous round. The Aftershock, though, is going to make things awkward for him. He does get out of there, but he's left on to just a solo knife and a million pieces of utility. There's 3 people assisting that kill. Well, it makes it impossible for him to get out of there, and no, I can grin. That was bold. I almost respect it, because that was like, you know the evil villain landing where they like punch the floor as they land.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like that's what he just did.
And then like the interruption as you jump out of heaven, and you know the Indiana Jones scene, the guy's spinning the sword and he just shoots him.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it was.
But 3-1. The position's pretty strong for Wave right now. You look at the other side, nothing. They've got pistols, classics for the most part. And this round's more or less already written, but there's always a chance. Always a chance for those little sheriffs to do a lot of damage. Also, Tom, you know, I was just saying in chat, I have a small CSGO brain, you know? It's a flash, it's a nade, it's a molly, it's a smoke. Yeah, Clips, I'll say smokes as well. Like, I'll just... The squid, look, she sent out her seekers or her squids. It works. It does the job. People know what's going on. Oh, okay.
You got the Hawk coming through. Another favorite of ours.
Oh, God.
But it's left all onto Nescas. Chances slim. Muri, okay. Not really needed. He doesn't actually even get the kill. I feel like that's deserved. Taking a risk, could have lost a gun. Cabbages.
A man's coming out
now
here.
You're just a wrongin'.
He's calling them flashpoints and has the audacity to say cabbages. Come on, get out of here.
You know, squids, the way they move in the ocean. Like, when have you ever seen a cabbage like floating around? Like, what sort of cabbages have you been
Maybe it's some like really
they got
traumatic,
so many pesticides in them, they float.
It's like a traumatic experience from childhood. Like they forced him to eat cabbage, and now he's just like, the cabbages are coming to get me.
Alien cabbages. the special breed.
You're a funny man, Van Silly. You're a funny man. Every time he sees a cabbage, he just pulls a revolver out and shoots it. Get that off my table.
No!
Just getting flashbacks.
This is aggressive.
That it is. They're behind. They're on the
Coming
way.
in on a hot flank.
It's been
And
detected,
already
though.
Aegis is going to pick off one. This is perfect, though. They have pincered them in. The spikes dropped on the site. This is looking quite disjointed from Wave, but a flawless round coming out. Beautiful stuff from BK ROG. Not afraid to take the initiative in this round in particular.
Yeah, it was nice. I especially like the fact that two guys came behind and Jet runs down A long, but the other guy stays tucked in. Obviously, when it's clear, they win the round. Players get a little bit eager. Don't want to go for those kills, but the intention, had things have gone south a little bit, that player probably comes back and starts looking for Jet, walks out, doesn't even clear the corner, you get a free kill. But at 4-2, that was a nice buyback. The game hasn't slipped out of their hands just yet, although with how things are going, Wave are definitely looking like the stronger team, but it's by a relatively small margin. BK have got the potential, they've had the individuals show up as well. Now all that remains is to really push Wave down, break that economy, although it's going to take a while because they're I'm pretty sure they've got another buy after this. Can make things pretty tough.
Scout destroy.
It looks like they're going to go for a B play. Now, the way they can set things up with the Viper's Pit, it gives them a great opportunity to garner a plant. Now, we are going to have the Owl drone flying through and actually finding that there's not really anyone inside it. A sneaky play actually goes into the corner. This is great for B2K, but will he actually be able to survive the second? Because the problem now is he's down to 1 HP. Does Cedar still expect him to be there? It doesn't look like he does, but will be able to snap the reaction shot to find himself a kill. The other thing as well is there's still 3 other ultimates available in this round for Wave. So after what was a clean previous round, chances of victory here from BK look slim.
30 seconds.
Yeah, they definitely do. The odds are stacked against them. Luckily, that one's safe up above, but it's not like Wave to leave these gaps completely unchecked. Usually they've got a molly to throw one up. But they don't this time. Actually being tagged up here. Carcass is endangered. Luckily, that one peaked too early. He actually got detained by that. Otherwise, that would have been a free kill, and instead, it's a lost round. And through the smoke. That is a guarantee.
Yeah, I think that should be the finances, though. That's at least something. Like, a flawless round normally gives you enough of a buffer to get yourself that extra cash needed. And we are even going to see the operator now coming in from Aegis, and this is going to change the dynamic of their A take quite a bit, I'd imagine. Now, a lot of the time you're going to see the peek into long, but it seems like he wants to try and take that headshot angle fight down into the sewers. A bit of a risk, and I question if there's going to be aggression elsewhere to almost allow for this play to come through. Never mind. Completely denied.
Sometimes it'd be like that, Tom. And that cam, I think, was
Too
only
smart.
just activated, so they probably know that it's here. And they will have heard the sound cue. And yeah, they did. Ready to take it down right away. That reveal gets very little for you. I feel like you need to wait a long time. Or have it open the entire round. Flash for long to slow the push, but it's all coming through Garage. Zig's already up close. The flash blinds him, but he still gets the kill. He survives as well, and Muri's in with more. That one has remained undetected, but that doesn't last very long, and at this stage, Wave, they've got the spike planted, and they should have the round. Not only have they got a player still lurking inside the window, but he has Orbital Strike online, and retaking this, BK have realized, is not going to be easy. And so they're out of there to save the weapons through to the next round.
Yeah, it's not worth it with the operator. I am quite surprised that Zeke managed to get away with as much as he did. Like, he's not even died, and he ran into what was a pretty decent crossfire on that C site, with one player being up on the plat as well. So you almost start to question, like, how did that crossfire not kill anybody while he was completely blind and almost running backwards into the site? It seems a little bit peculiar, and those are, like, mistakes that you have to feel like if you don't punish Wave for, this is just going to become an easy victory. Now, Carcass, he's trying to close out some of these remaining players. The finances for Wave at this point are fine, so they can afford to lose a weapon if it was in response for another on the other side. The good thing for BK, though, is they don't lose anything extra at least, so they'll have something into this round. And actually, it's not the worst fight. It's not perfect, but there'll at least be some decent weaponry pulled in.
I mean, that big old operator is something I want to keep an eye on. Vegas can manage to be the same sort of thorn in the side, more particularly when they go to the defensive side, as Durka was when we saw him, would be potentially a game changer. But yeah, for BK right now, they've got to get themselves on the board. It's 6 given over to their opponent. We talk about this map often as being a relatively even one. I know Wave are on the attack, and I expect them to do... looking at the roster, I expect them to do better on the attack than the defense. But if you're giving over 8-9 rounds, you're making it very, very difficult for yourself. Surprising that these guys have pushed so much. So you've got a guy all the way down second mid, all the way into window. So much information to play with at this point, especially having spotted a player outside of A. But now they're on their way back. Wave don't want to just be boxed into playing a certain angle. They're going to fight for that map control to be returned. And all the while, Carcass, he's just lurking out on long and letting this player go right past into his death.
This has been a bit of a weird round so far, but maybe Aegis can almost help them here. Zeke, in the meantime, is going to go pushing straight back into the C site. The lurk that is almost being used purely as a bait, but he will turn his back at the wrong moment. A free kill, but the majority of players have now backed off A. That was the plan, at least. A slow walk up into this site. It should be fairly scripted. And Neskaz does a fantastic job to find himself to Cedar dead to the right. Doesn't stand a chance here. It will be a third round for BK, but it definitely had its moments that looked a little bit worrying.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some shaky signs, but BK getting that round puts a smile on their face. They've managed to get themselves into a spot where, at the very least, they should be able to claim that 4 on the board. Win the pistol, it's kind of doable, but the goal here is 5. You get there, you're comfy. Provided pistols go your way. But you'll accept the fact, you know, when you lose the pistol, you don't expect to be walking out with a 6-6 half or even winning it out. Unless you're G2.
True. I'm also a little bit curious as to... So they get that position in window, but then they actually use the Tiger for further information. That was the thing that sort of... I was a little bit worried for them in the last round, because I felt like they had the perfect positioning to stop anybody from rotating through. The desperation for information almost ended up being a thorn in their side.
B2K, not good for anything. I thought he'd completely wreck them with that position, and yet nothing. And BK are left thinking about a retake that they pretty much can't win. And they're actually going to... Look at this. They're getting an orb. I love it, Wave. Thank you. Put a smile on my face. They delay the plant just so they can get an extra ult orb. And then plant after. And, Tom, you know, the situation so far for BK is kind of bizarre because they're getting a lot of control in the early round. Like, they've had flanks underway in the majority of rounds. They've gone down mid or down C long pretty much without fail. And despite that early information, which is often the downfall of a defensive side when it comes to Haven, their A-hold just looks weak right now.
Yeah, the thing is, there's now been a couple of rounds where we've seen them gamble correctly, have the majority of the players on a site which we would normally call fairly retakeable, like C. Both C and A have their opportunities. I feel like A a little bit tougher, but realistically, both times we've seen them 3-man stack either of the sides, they've lost it almost clean. Like, the openers coming in from Wave have been phenomenal, but you almost just think, like, how's there not been a trade there? Not a single trade when there's 3 players on the same site in a crossfire setup. Like, that should never happen. Like, fair enough, you lose the round, maybe you trade 3 for 2, it's forgivable. But getting 0 kills in an entry like that, it just doesn't sit right.
Yeah, I agree with you. And sorry, a fly was flying past my face.
It'd be weird if it was walking.
Well, they do walk. Just don't know
But then aren't they called a walk while they're doing that? I'm really surprised you fell for that, I'll be honest. Like, it was the worst joke ever, but the fact that you walked straight into it is poor.
I was excited.
Right.
I was excited to say the Tasmanian cabbages are coming, but you've taken all joy out of my life, Tom. Last excuse me. There's very little to work with here for BK. They've only got pistols, but they managed to get 2 kills. It's kind of doable.
Well, I've been told off by the Fruit King, but more importantly, there's been a couple of kills. Kingwin, it's going to be traded out. It's left onto Muri, and well, let's be real. If anyone was in that scenario that you'd bank on, it would be him. He's had a really good series so far. He's been a player to watch throughout the VCT. Not needed to do as much in this map, that's for sure. It's been, again, a solid team performance coming out from Wave. And 8-3 up on this attacking side. BK might just be heading out of this one. I'm starting to, well, basically see no chance at a return.
This is it, Tom. This is a round that really makes a difference. If you get 4, you're in a bad spot. You get 3, it's almost impossible. And knowing that you're facing into elimination from VCT, the pressure will be on. Now, you've got some Tasmanian cabbages over on that defensive side if they do lose track of the attackers, but they are tracing them pretty quickly. Cider taken down to start things off. Wave still have that orbital strike. I feel like they've had that online for the whole game. Have they even used it once? I'm trying to think. I don't think they have.
I don't think they have. I don't think they're going to get to use it here either, because there's a flank coming through. B2K, he's going to find both. He had his moments in the last map, and this could just be that light at the end of the tunnel. They will get a 4th round in that first half, but I still fear a pistol win is needed if they're going to compete.
Definitely. When you're at 7-5 down, and you lose the pistol, it's difficult. It is, but it is doable to some extent. At this stage, though, when you get 4 on the board, lose the pistol, you probably lose the whole game. This is where we need BK to come out on top. And I'm curious to see, especially with this economy, it's something I haven't been keeping track of as actively as I wanted to, so I might go back and check the games. But maybe Vansili can help us with his spreadsheet brain. But I wonder whether most players, I suppose it's going to be very dependent on the agent even, whether they're going for armor and utility, or whether they're going for ghosts. That's what I want to take a real look at each agent and how they tend to go for that. But I guess after VCT has been played out, probably when we get to challengers, we'll crunch the numbers on that.
As we said. No, it does not. It stands for bunker. That is what we've been informed of. Although I did think exactly the same thing. Can they get this one over the line? Now, Cedar's playing a pretty dirty one-way. They'll take some damage if they want to push through it as well, but going down elsewhere. They're going to run straight through. The flash is solid. Cedar just about going to be able to survive, but eventually he falls just after. Muri, though, in position. The pop flashes, leaving players blind, but it doesn't matter. Nescas finding a quick kill onto him, a shutdown onto Carcass, and Nico, wow, unless he gets 4, that pistol is going the other way.
Now, BK have bought themselves a little bit of good faith for now. As you said, Nico, not quite likely to get this one done. Gonna go for it anyways. A ghost in hand, why not? A couple of headshots, and he can get himself on YouTube. But oh, look at this. They're just storming, absolutely destroying. The flash was on its way, and at that point, you knew it's all over. 8-5. We've got a game in our hands again, Tom.
Yeah, this is where things become a little bit more workable. Plant as well for Wave, so chances of them actually investing into this round are slim to none. I'm not sure of the value of it unless they were so confident facing off against BK that they were just willing to take the risk. But the next games are actually going to be coming up tomorrow. So this is the last game of the day, and those will also be on the official current stream. So you will, unfortunately, you not be watching. Well, you will be watching Mitchman, but you won't be watching Mitchman casting. That still doesn't make sense. You need to change your name.
Why?
It's hard for me.
Just why, Tom? That's my only question. It's just one question.
I think you should make Mitchman memes. Yeah, just all short stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't post any full-length videos, only shorts.
Mitchman shorts! Perfect. And so is that peak coming through. Now, Cedar managed to find 2 off the back of a classic. Didn't make much sense, but I actually quite like this. Wave are just walking around some sort of death ball, and now they've realized that their opponents are coming in from behind. This is going to be a little bit tougher.
God.
Nico now gets one with the classic. Are they actually going to win a full classic round? Maybe not, because I think there's a couple of guns dropped just ahead of them.
Let me tell you the problem there right away. When that player peeked long and died, they said, oh, there's 3 or 4 there. What they should have said was, don't peek! That was pretty much the only call that needed to be made, because they went straight into the firing squad. And now it's down to a 2v1. This is definitely winnable. Nescas going to be pushed out of position. They know he's behind the site, and now they swing and get it
What a
done.
round.
That is an unbelievable round from Wave. They had no right to win that. And now they've got 9-5 on the board, and that game we had in our hands starting to disappear.
I mentioned this, man, at the top of the day, that when it came to their sort of second run attempt through VCT, it was a much quieter performance from the rest of the squad. It was Cedar who was just unbelievable. Like, he was performing so well individually. We were just almost looking at this team and going, okay, what's going on? And I think even then, after they sort of lost, he even like initially left the team and said he was looking for other options, because it was almost just like a case of he was having to try and carry the roster. Now it's definitely much more even, but we are still seeing that same individual prowess from him. Impressive stuff in a round that they had no right to win.
Out goes the Tasmanian cabbage in the shape of a wolf or a tiger. It's going to be returned on the other side. Its brother coming back to bite, quite literally. Actually managing to concuss one as well. BK, man advantage to play with. That orb being taken. The spray from Yuri ends up costing him his life. The wall going down just as he finished spraying as well. That's pretty devastating. BK, they're out for vengeance. It looks like they might be getting some. Even capable of planting on A now. It's going to be a big retake from Wade.
This is peculiar. They win versus classics now. They're losing. This is what is a fairly similar buy, but with much stronger weaponry on the defensive side. While Zeke is making as much noise as humanly possible. We're going to see the fault line thrown in to stun the man in the corner, and naturally they've quickly found 3 kills. This was looking like a done deal. The aftershock will force them off the angle, and it's left all onto B2K, and all he can grasp at is 1 kill. I don't know how they made that retake look so good.
Yeah, it's really devastating at this stage. The last round was one that they 100% should have won. This one here, it started to stack up the same way, and it ended the same as well. It's not nice. If you're a BK ROG fan, it's well, it might be time to look away.
Fancily, it's always good for someone to call that an agent is coming back after it's happened, but you know that's I guess that's a safer way to do predictions rather than what Mitch has done.
Well, thanks a lot, Tom. I needed to be reminded of that.
You just predict after the games, and then you can just be like, I knew that would happen. Then, well, not many people would think you're a genius, but at least you can feel good about yourself.
Here.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
You do wonders for my confidence. Nanoswarms activated on turrets. Contact will keep them out for a second. Wave don't intend to get kills on this or do damage. It's buying time for the rotates. And now Zeke's in position. But he ain't getting much to off Yuri. Don't do it to him. They've got pistols. He's gone through the wall and given them a rifle for free. He was feeling it, confident that the ace was going to be his, but instead it's a 4 versus 3. And with a Vandal in hand, this could quickly get out of control.
Maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity here. However, Peter on the other side, I'm a little bit doubtful. Even going to pull up his one way, and it just makes it so awkward for the peaks to come through. He can't spot his head, so it becomes very difficult to shoot it. B2K at least has himself that lone rifle. 30 seconds, doesn't have the spike, and against 4 players. Can't say I'm a believer.
I like the coordination inside a garage. As soon as Killjoy leaves, so obviously the alarm button deactivates, which means it makes a bit of noise. You have the poison orb activated. So what this does is it makes the opponent think. So obviously it provides cover. You saw that in the fight, right? It gives him a very good angle to fight on as he's crouched down. They walk in, he sees their legs, easy spray. But also, it baits in your opponent because they hear it. They're like, wait, Killjoy's left garage. She's far enough away now. We might be able to sneak in. And they might even think that your orb is just there to discourage them from pushing in because it's free map control. And as soon as they walk in, they realize that that free real estate is actually not that wide open.
You've not just quoted that, mate.
What are you talking about?
I can't. I'm disgusted.
I thought I was talking too loud for a minute, so I had to be quiet. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this push!
Well, here come the squids. Well, it's come out fairly even, at least for now. BK are going to be in an aggressive spot here. Are they going to expect it? Well, the flash comes through, and actually, Neskat's just out there like, how am I the one to take the bullet? I waited patiently to bring the spike to deliver it to the site, and somehow it's my head that gets popped on the way through. Now, the TP under is actually quite clever. That's just been cleared by Muri and the Tiger. Will they check it again? They should have probably heard the sound cue, but maybe, just maybe, it goes amiss.
Wave are really taking their time here. I'm wondering if there's a flash ready, primed for the popping. Yuri's in trouble.
Oh, no.
It's not going to catch him, though. Aftershock comes in. Here's the flash and the peek right after, but they... Oh! Muri caught both of them! How did he do that? He walked out with his back turned to the first guy. Yes, he was aftershocked, but Muri managed to then spin on a dime and take the second kill, putting him up to 3 in the round and 12-5 on the board. Wave are looking incredible right now. I don't see BK ROG making this comeback. Ce n'est pas possible.
I honestly am most impressed by their retakes. That's what's been so impressive throughout this map so far, is just that there's been so many scenarios where it's either been even or in favor of BK, and they've made it look very easy. Like clearing all the angles, the utility coming out from Vansili's breach has been so impressive, and just being able to basically force players into really awkward duels. And then just doing it, as you said, like taking their time, not rushing anything. Already, it's going to be the opener in this round. The dive through, but left completely blind. Nico even going to pop his Rolling Thunder to try and clear those backlines and has the chance to fight the remainder. It is left all onto the King to try and bring things back, but his crown hasn't dropped just yet.
This is going to be très difficile, but maybe, just maybe, King Win can win it out. He's got 26 HP. He's got a player in garage and one in spawn.
There's no way.
If he checks this,
he's not checking this.
No, he's gone. He's done. It was a good attempt. Wave managed to take it in the end. Mais je dois dire, bien joué, bien joué.
Speak French.
BK.
Oh, no one knew that.
Un petit peu, mais ouais. But I have to say,
you are.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Missing a few letters on that last bit, the CH in particular. But hey, GG's. Wave take it. We kind of expected they would coming into this. We knew that BK had got some potential. Sadly, not fully reached here today, but this is a learning experience. There's a lot of good players there. We had some good moments. For now, we can give big GG's to Wave. And Tom, have you already checked who they're coming up against next?
FNATIC.
There we go. FNATIC.
It's rough. That's the thing. It's like, this was a great performance, and they're a team that I definitely think can challenge in the VCT. The problem is I just don't see them beating FNATIC. Like, FNATIC are the team to beat within Europe. They have been, well, since they became basically the second best team in the world. Like, sure, they lost to G2 today, but that G2 team is a super team. Like, that has been forged from multiple different rosters, taking the in-game leader of a Masters champion, taking a couple of players from the team First Strike and putting them into one roster. Like, that's going to be such a hard game to win. And if they do, well, then we'd have to live with the shock of FNATIC not making it to the first stage of VCT, which would be mind-boggling.
You know, I had to go and have a look. And yeah, back in the day, back in stage 1 of VCT, we're talking in February, they faced off against FNATIC in Challengers 1, and they beat them. And then they lost to an amazing team called Alliance, and got knocked out.
Who's that?
So,
wait, that's the team that kicked their analysts, weren't it? And then they got better.
I still lost the liquid. So, I have to say, you know, I think Wave have had a pretty tough run when it's come to the Challengers era.
For sure.
They always seem to just get really good teams up against them. Now, I think last time around, what was it? Just take a look here. Scroll up. Yeah, it was like they got knocked out by NIP when NIP looked unreal in stage 2. Came up against Pact. I mean, that was your chance, Wave. That was your chance. But they made it to, that was round of 64 that they bombed out of early. I guarantee they would have probably went. Look, I'm going to double check the bracket right now, Tom. I'm going to see. Had they have beaten Pact. Oh, it's not that easy. I can't can I? Control F. Wave. Where's Wave? Wave. If they... You won't believe this. You won't believe this. Had they have beaten Pact, they would have faced FNATIC. What's going on? That's like all 3 challengers. They've got FNATIC, or they would have gotten FNATIC if they didn't get knocked out. These guys have had a tough run. A tough run. They've beaten FNATIC once. Now they've got to do it again. That's going to be a hell of a game to watch. We saw they can bleed today versus G2, but I think Wave are going to be spending a lot of time grinding out and getting ready for that one. But Tom, that's it for us today. We are done and dusted. It's been a kind of a long one considering the fact that they were, you know, brief enough games technically on the match pages, but a couple of delays here and there.
5-hour day. We have it tough, you know.
We do. It's a tough. It is a tough life.
Honestly, I'm not sure I'm awake after all of this.
Ever with the sarcasm, but hey, look, we're gonna throw it over to another channel anyways. We got someone to host. I'm sure there's some more VCT games going on right now that we can catch. Tom, you want to give a recommendation for the people out there, and I can raid.
Ooh,
go on, it's your choice.
Wow, I've just realized. So Finest are beating NIP, 10-star are beating Vitality. So either way, it's a tough one. I think the 10-star game's going to a third map. What about the NIP
I'm going
one?
10-star.
That's in the second. The thing is, though, that you would be hosting them just as it's about to go to a break. So I would go with Finest NIP because that's about to be in the thick of the game.
I'll be honest. I would, but 10-star impressed me so much the other day.
They did.
So much. They were really, really good. Honestly, guys, stick around.
We're gonna host a break screen.
Take a look. Yeah, we're gonna host a break screen, unfortunately. But take a look at 10-star. They're actually a really, really, really sick team. And I think you guys are gonna you're gonna appreciate what they've got and what they do. But yeah, for now we're gonna go to a break and then we'll host the other channel. You get to see more VCT action. We'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching, guys.